The Wire is AI generated. Just like humans, AI sometimes gets it wrong. Trust but verify the information contained in this podcast.
Welcome to the Wire Weekly Roundup. The week in real estate presented in digestible bites. Hold on while our AI hosts take us on another ride through this week's top real estate headlines.
Welcome back to The Wire.
Always great to be here.
I've got a stack of articles and reports.
Oh, yeah.
They're buzzing with insights about how technology is reshaping the real estate world.
It's constantly changing, that's for sure.
It really is. We've got pieces from Agents Decoded,
Oh, nice.
the Realtors Confidence Index, Riz Media, Realtor Magazine, Housing Wire, really the whole gamut.
The works.
Yeah, let's jump right in.
Okay.
This article from Agents Decoded, it's called Stop Giving Showing Feedback.
Interesting.
Really caught my eye.
I can see why.
You know how we've always given feedback to listing agents after showings?
Yeah, that's standard practice.
This article challenges that whole idea.
Really?
It argues that giving detailed feedback on what your buyer liked or didn't like can actually weaken your position.
Especially in today's market.
Right, where data is everything.
It's like giving away your strategy.
Yeah, why hand the seller all that information?
You wouldn't reveal your hand in a poker game.
Exactly. So why do it in a real estate deal?
It's like you said, data is king.
And speaking of data,
The
Realtors Confidence Index report gives us some interesting insights into the current market.
Yeah, what's it saying?
Well, all cash buyers are still a major force.
Still, wow.
Yeah, they represent 29% of transactions.
That's a big chunk.
And get this, homes are receiving an average of 2.6 offers per listing.
So inventory's still tight then,
It really is.
creating a competitive market.
For sure.
Hmm.
And here's a really interesting tidbit from that same report.
Okay.
5% of buyers purchased homes based solely on virtual tours.
Wow, just virtual tours.
Yeah, and that's up from last year.
So virtual tours are becoming more important.
They really are.
It's interesting to see that shift.
Okay, so we've talked about showing feedback
Right.
and market data.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about connecting with potential clients.
Sounds good.
I read a fantastic article in Rise Media by Daryl Davis.
I know Daryl. He's great.
It's about maximizing open houses.
Oh,
He suggests that we should view open houses as opportunities to connect with potential sellers.
instead of just buyers.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Then just focus on the buyer who walks in the door.
Makes sense.
He says to target potential sellers in the neighborhood.
Proactive approach.
Yeah, and build relationships that could turn into future listings.
Ah.
He even suggests sending out personalized invitations. Use handwritten envelopes
For a personal touch.
and include a QR code
Oh, I like that.
that links to a neighborhood market analysis.
Wow.
Pick their curiosity.
Absolutely.
Position yourself as the local expert.
It's all about building that rapport.
Now let's talk about smart homes.
Okay.
They're becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, you see them everywhere.
But there are some data privacy concerns.
I've heard about that.
I read an article in Realtor Magazine about it.
What did it say?
These devices are constantly collecting data.
It's a bit unnerving.
Listening to our conversation.
Track and have.
Building a digital profile of us.
It can feel invasive.
There are benefits, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Personalized experiences.
Enhanced security.
But we need to think about who has access to this data.
And how it's being used.
We need to be aware of these privacy issues.
And advise our clients accordingly.
The article suggests some steps we can take to mitigate the risks.
Like what?
Muting devices when not in use.
Okay.
Managing those wake words.
So they're not accidentally triggered.
And adjusting privacy settings.
Good advice.
It's all about finding a balance.
Between the benefits and the risks.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of technology,
Yeah.
we can't overlook LinkedIn.
Oh, interesting.
A lot of agents focus on the more visual platform.
Makes sense.
But this Housing Wire article argues that LinkedIn is an underutilized tool for real estate.
I can see that.
It's a powerful way to connect to professionals.
People who are more likely to be homeowners or investors.
Yeah, and first impressions matter. The article stresses the importance of optimizing your profile.
So people see you as the expert.
A professional headshot, a compelling cover photo, a clear headline.
Showcase your unique value proposition.
And once you've got that killer
Oh,
profile,
what's next?
engage with your network.
Oh, yeah, that's key.
Like and comment on posts.
Join relevant groups.
Start conversations.
Build those relationships.
Become a thought leader.
All right, I'm convinced.
And you know what else is crucial for growth?
Tell me.
partnerships.
Yes.
Jason Mitchell wrote an article for Housing Wire.
Okay.
He says that teams won't scale without strategic partnerships.
I've heard that before.
It can be hard to handle everything yourself.
As your business grows.
Yeah, so partnerships let you leverage the expertise of others.
Makes sense.
Mortgage brokers, title companies, home stagers, tech providers.
A whole network of professionals.
It can streamline your operations.
Expand your lead generation.
And enhance your brand.
Win-win.
Mitchell says, in the real estate industry, you either grow or get left behind.
That's a good quote.
It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Couldn't agree more.
Now, I want to shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about wellness in real estate.
Wellness. Interesting.
This article from Realtor Magazine really dives into it.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's not just a trend, it's a reflection of how people are prioritizing their well-being.
I can see that.
It's impacting their purchasing decisions. The article talks about incorporating natural elements into homes.
Like what?
Natural light, plants, water features.
I love those.
Using specific types of wood and stone.
To create a sense of calm.
It's about creating emotional sanctuaries.
That's a nice way to put it.
The article also talks about intentional relaxation spaces.
Oh, interesting.
Like wet rooms that combine showers and tubs.
Like a spa experience.
Dedicated meditation rooms.
For some peace and quiet.
Even home gyms.
Even fit at home.
It's all about supporting well-being.
Physical, mental, and emotional.
And for those who can afford it, we're seeing luxury amenities like cold plunge pools, saunas, in-home massage rooms.
Bringing the spa home.
And it's not just individual units.
Right.
Multifamily developments are offering curated wellness amenities.
For a holistic living experience.
Things like salt spas, hammams, soundproof rehearsal rooms.
Even golf simulators.
It's about creating a sense of community.
And promoting well-being.
It's incredible to see how these trends are shaping real estate.
It really is.
We need to understand these trends and incorporate them into our approach.
I agree.
We're seeing a real shift in what clients are looking for.
It's all about adapting to the changing market.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
We sure have.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
okay,
I want to leave you with a question to ponder.
I'm intrigued.
We've talked about smart homes and the potential privacy concerns. But have you ever stopped to think about the legal implications of all this data collection?
That's a good question.
It's something to think about.
It is.
We'll delve into that in part 2 of our deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
So stay tuned.
I will. Welcome back to The Wire.
You know, we dove into data privacy last time.
Oh, yeah. Lots to think about there.
As agents, we're constantly dealing with contracts, disclosures, all those legal things.
Part of the job.
But with all this new technology, it's adding a whole other layer of complexity.
It's like uncharted territory.
We talked about smart homes last time.
Yeah, and the data they collect.
So the question is, who's responsible for protecting that data?
And what happens if something goes wrong?
Big questions.
Feels like the laws are playing catch-up with technology.
Right. We can't just ignore it and hope for the best.
Ignorance is not a defense.
So let's unpack some of this, starting with data privacy.
Okay.
So data privacy is basically the right to control your personal information.
How it's collected, used, shared.
Right. And we've got this mix of federal and state laws governing all that.
A patchwork of laws.
Yeah. It's a bit much, right?
It can be tricky.
Like we've got HEAP for health information.
And CAPIA for kids' data.
So different types of data have different protections.
That's right.
But what about general consumer data?
Ah, that's where it gets interesting.
There's no one big federal law for that.
Not yet, at least.
But California has the CCPA.
California often leads the way.
The California Consumer Privacy Act.
What does that do?
It gives Californians the right to know what information businesses have on them.
The right to have it deleted, the right to opt out of sales.
So California is setting a trend.
Other states are considering similar laws.
But these laws apply to businesses.
Right, and that term can be pretty broad.
So as agents, are we businesses?
Most likely.
We collect a lot of personal information from clients.
Contact details, financial info, preferences.
So we need to comply with these laws.
Absolutely. It's not just about avoiding trouble.
It's about building trust with clients.
They need to know we're handling their data responsibly.
Makes sense.
Good for everyone.
Okay, so back to smart homes for a minute.
Sure.
They're collecting all this data. Are we liable if something happens?
Like a data breach.
Yeah, or misuse of information.
Well, that's where it gets a bit tricky.
Tricky how?
We're not directly controlling those devices.
But we're often the ones introducing them to clients.
Showing them off is a cool feature.
Maybe even helping set them up.
So we could be seen as playing a role.
in exposing our clients to risk.
It's possible, yes.
So we need to educate ourselves about these devices
Understand their data collection practices.
and talk to our clients about the implications.
Informed consent is important.
It's not enough to just highlight the cool features.
You've got to talk about data security, too.
Data encryption, two-factor authentication, strong passwords,
Make sure they know these devices are always collecting data.
even when they seem off.
That's the thing with technology.
It feels like we need to become cybersecurity experts.
It's part of being a tech-savvy agent.
Okay, so we've talked data privacy,
A crucial topic.
but let's shift gears to another legal area,
What's that?
intellectual property.
Okay, interesting.
That refers to creations of the mind.
Inventions, creative works, design.
In the digital age, it feels more important than ever.
So much is online now.
And this applies to real estate too, right?
Absolutely.
Think about the photos and videos we use for listings.
Floor plans, descriptions
It's all intellectual property.
that we need to protect.
So how do we do that?
Well, one way is through copyright.
Copyright.
It protects original works of authorship.
Photos, videos, writing.
And in the US, protection is automatic.
As soon as it's created.
That's right.
So I don't need to register my photos to have them protected.
You don't have to, but it's a good idea.
Why is that?
It gives you stronger legal protection.
And makes it easier to enforce your rights.
In case of infringement,
Infringement
someone using your work without permission,
happens a lot online.
people copy and paste without a thought.
So how do we prevent that?
Use watermarks on your photos and videos.
Okay.
State your copyright notice on your website and materials.
Got it.
Have a clear policy for how others can use your content.
Like requiring permission or attribution.
Being proactive is key.
It's not just about protecting our own stuff.
Right. It's about respecting the rights of others.
Like if I find a photo online, I can't just use it.
You need to make sure you have the rights.
A lot of online stuff is protected.
Using it without permission could be a problem.
So how do I do it right?
You can buy stock photos from reputable sites,
Okay.
look for images with Creative Commons licenses,
Makes sense.
or reach out to the copyright holder for permission.
Better safe than sorry.
When it comes to legal stuff, always.
Okay, so we've covered copyright.
One piece of the puzzle.
What about trademarks?
Trademark.
What are those exactly?
They're words, phrases, symbols, designs.
That identify a specific good or service.
They build brand recognition, protect your business.
So like my brokerage's logo would be a trademark.
Exactly. Your company name, slogan, marketing campaign.
How do I protect those?
You register them with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office.
Okay, what does that do?
It gives you nationwide protection.
And the exclusive right to use those marks. What if someone uses my logo without permission?
That's infringement.
And I can take legal action.
Yes. And having a registered trademark strengthens your case.
So it's worth the effort to register.
It protects your brand, your hard work.
We've covered a lot today. Technology and legal stuff.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It's a whole new world out there.
But we're just getting started.
There's even more to consider.
Like what?
Well, in part 3, we'll dive into advertising, fair housing, and AI.
Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride.
Welcome back to The Wire.
It's the final stretch of our deep dive.
We've covered data privacy, intellectual property.
Now it's time for advertising, fair housing, and AI.
Lots to unpack.
For sure.
So advertising, we're always promoting ourselves, our listings.
It's how we get clients.
But with all the digital marketing options,
Yeah.
it feels like the rules are always changing.
Keeping up is a challenge.
How do we make sure we're doing it right?
Legally speaking.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is there are laws to prevent deceptive advertising.
So we're protected.
The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, they enforce those laws.
They're watching us.
In a way, yes.
So what are the big things to watch out for
Truth and accuracy are key.
in our ads?
Everything you say or show has to be truthful.
No more photoshopping that power line out of the backyard.
Exactly.
Got it.
And be mindful of puffery.
Puffery.
It's like exaggerated statements. No one would take them literally.
Like saying a house is the best in the neighborhood.
Yeah, or our service is unmatched.
So a little hype is okay.
As long as it's not misleading.
But the FTC is cracking down on vague claims.
Especially things like environmental benefit.
Greenwashing. It can
Yeah.
hurt your reputation.
And bait and switch is a no-go.
Absolutely.
Like advertising a property at a crazy low price just to get leads.
Knowing it's not actually available.
Bad for everyone involved.
Trust and long-term relationships are what matter.
Couldn't agree more.
Speaking of trust, let's talk fair housing.
A crucial topic.
Technology's great for reaching a wider audience,
It opens up possibilities.
but it also makes it easier to discriminate, even accidentally.
How so?
Some online platforms let you target specific demographics,
Which could exclude protected classes.
even if you don't mean to.
Algorithms can also perpetuate biases.
So even with good intentions, technology can work against us.
We have to be careful.
No more targeting ads by zip code or income level.
We need to reach a diverse audience.
And if we're using algorithms,
Need to understand them, make sure they're fair.
it's a lot of responsibility.
It comes with the territory.
And then there's AI.
The big one,
It's everywhere,
changing the game.
but it raises a lot of ethical questions.
How do we use this powerful tool responsibly?
It's uncharted territory.
No, we can navigate it thoughtfully.
What are some of the ethical dilemmas with AI?
Well, bias is a big one.
We talked about that with algorithms,
AI systems can also perpetuate bias if we're not careful,
leading to unfair outcomes.
like in lending or housing.
So the AI we use needs to be fair and impartial.
But how do we know if it is?
That's the tough part.
Transparency is key.
Understanding how these systems work.
Not blindly trusting the technology.
And privacy is another concern.
AI relies on massive amounts of data.
So we need to be extra cautious about how it's used.
It all comes back to data privacy, doesn't it?
It's a recurring theme.
Protecting our clients' information.
Making sure it's used ethically.
Building trust through transparency.
Giving clients control over their data.
It's about using technology to serve our clients better.
Wow, we've really covered a lot in this deep dive.
Data privacy, intellectual property, fair housing, AI.
The real estate landscape is constantly changing.
Technology is driving that change.
It's exciting and challenging.
We need to stay informed, adapt.
And always do what's right for our clients.
That's the bottom line.
Knowledge is power.
The more we learn, the better we can serve.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of real estate and technology.
Until next time, stay curious.
If you're interested in your own personalized edition of The Wire, please visit us at thewire.fm/custom. We offer market-specific podcasts with all the latest real estate news and market analysis delivered to you weekly or monthly. Own your market with a personalized edition of The Wire, the week in real estate. Thank you for listening.